Have you ever noticed there are men who don't just dislike you? They want to see you fall. They don't challenge you openly or face you head-on. But in the shadows, they sow doubt, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They work tirelessly in secret to watch you crumble. But here's the truth. The moment you stop falling for their traps, they lose their grip. These men don't just hate you, they want to destroy you. Like a smoldering wildfire beneath the earth, biding its time to erupt. At first, it's just faint wisps of smoke, barely noticeable. But when the flames break through, everything burns. Picture a vulture circling above, not attacking yet, but patiently waiting for your collapse. That's how they operate, not with direct confrontation, but with calculated sabotage. While they plot, you have a choice: fall into their trap or rise above their schemes. When you refuse to play their game, their frustration begins to show. When you stop following their script, their plans start to unravel. So how do you spot these men before they cause real harm? Not by living in fear or doubting yourself. Stay with me to the end, because the final insight I'll share will change everything. Let's begin. First, they spread lies to tarnish your reputation. This is one of the most insidious tactics of those who don't just dislike you, they want to dismantle you. These aren't harmless rumors or casual gossip. This is a deliberate attack. They don't just quietly resent you, they want others to turn against you. They twist the truth, exaggerate your flaws, and paint a distorted picture of who you are. The reality is, those who spread lies aren't just trying to hurt your reputation, they aim to isolate you, weaken your influence, and blind others to your true worth. They know that when people question your character, you'll fight an uphill battle to regain trust. That's exactly what they want: to leave you feeling powerless, alone, and constantly on the defensive. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. Epictetus said, "Character is destiny, guard it at all costs." No matter how many lies are spread, your true character will prevail if you stay steadfast. Those who know you, who see your actions, will discern truth from falsehood. The key is to protect your integrity and not waste energy chasing every rumor. Let me share a story about a man I know. Let's call him Daniel, a respected leader at his workplace. He worked hard, built strong relationships, and earned his position through integrity. But one day, a jealous colleague began spreading false stories about him. Whispers that Daniel only succeeded through favoritism, that he lacked real skill. At first, Daniel wanted to fight back, to confront every lie and clear his name. But then he realized something crucial. The strongest defense isn't arguing with a liar. It's staying true to the man your allies know you to be. And you know what? Over time, the truth came to light. Those who mattered saw through the lies, and that colleagues' attempts to smear Daniel backfired, costing them their own credibility. Because lies are fleeting. But caractère endure. So how do you handle those who spread falsehoods about you? First, stay calm. Emotional reactions only give them more ammunition to twist. Second, let your actions speak louder than their words. Keep being the man you are, and the truth will reveal itself in time. Third, don't get drawn into their game. Defend yourself when necessary. But don't waste energy convincing those determined to misunderstand you. Ultimately, a man's reputation is built over years, and no lie can erase that with a few false stories. Stay true to your character, and their lies will collapse under the weight of truth. For integrity outlasts all schemes. Second, they manipulate your emotions. Let's talk about one of the most cunning tactics of those who don't just dislike you. They want to control and break you. Emotional manipulation. Unlike open hostility, this is subtle, calculated, and designed to erode you from within. They don't attack directly. They use guilt, fear, and shame as weapons to undermine your confidence and make you question your own reality. At first, you might not even notice its manipulation. They might feign concern, saying things like, "I'm just worried about you. You don't seem yourself lately," or make you feel guilty for things you shouldn't apologize for. Like, "After all I've done for you." This is how you act. Slowly, these small emotional games chip away at your sense of self. You start doubting your choices, your feelings, even your worth. That's exactly what they want, for you to rely on their approval, to need their validation, and to lose control of your own mind. The truth is, they don't want to help you. They want to break you, so you depend on them. The moment you start seeking their validation, they've already won. You're trapped in a cycle where they create insecurity, then act like they're the only ones who can fix it. This is where Stoic wisdom takes over. Epictetus said, "He who masters his emotions masters his fate." What does that mean? It means the second you stop letting them pull your emotional strings, you reclaim your power. Their words only hold sway if you give them permission. The calmer you remain, the less they can manipulate you. Let me tell you about a man I know, call him Ryan, who had a friend who constantly toyed with his emotions. Whenever Ryan made a choice that didn't align with this friend's wishes, they'd guilt-trip him. "Guess I'm not important to you anymore." Or when Ryan focused on his own goals, they'd say, "You've changed. You're not the guy I knew." At first, Ryan felt guilty, questioning if he was being selfish. But then he saw the pattern. This friend only had an issue when Ryan prioritized himself. So how do you handle emotional manipulators? First, recognize the signs. If someone constantly makes you feel guilty, scared, or ashamed for your choices, that's manipulation. Second, stop seeking their approval. You don't need their permission to live your life. Finally, master your emotions. The less you react to their tactics, the more power you hold. Ultimately, manipulation only works if you let others control your emotions. When you take back your mind, their game falls apart. Stand firm. Trust yourself, and never let anyone define your worth. If this resonates, hit like and subscribe for more hard-earned wisdom. Third, they provoke you to ruin your image. Let's talk about one of the most dangerous tactics of those who don't just dislike you. They want to destroy you. They provoke you to spark an emotional reaction, painting you as unstable or irrational. This isn't random, it's a carefully set trap. They want you to lose control, to lash out, because the moment you do, they've won. It might start subtly sarcastic jabs, subtle taunts, or public humiliations designed to hit your weak spots. You try to ignore it, but they keep pushing, waiting for you to break. And when you finally snap, they spin the narrative against you. They step back, play innocent, and cast themselves as the victim. The truth is, this isn't about a fair fight. It's about control. They don't care about the argument. Their goal is to manipulate how others see you, making you look erratic, unreasonable, or even dangerous. The more you react, the more power they have to twist your reputation. This is where Stoic wisdom prevails. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to not become like your enemy." What does that mean? The most powerful response to provocation is self-control. When someone tries to bait you into an emotional outburst, the strongest move is to deny them what they want. Silence, composure, and refusing to engage are your greatest weapons. Let me share a story about a woman I know, call her Sarah, who had a colleague constantly undermining her. He'd make rude comments in meetings, dismiss her ideas, and even take credit for her work. After weeks of enduring it, Sarah snapped, confronting him loudly in front of the team. Instantly, he played the victim, calmly saying, "Sarah, I don't know why you're so upset." The room went quiet, and no one recalled his provocations, only her outburst. But Sarah learned. Instead of reacting, she observed. Each time he tried to provoke her, she stayed composed. And you know what? He lost his edge because he had nothing to work with. Without her reaction, he couldn't distort the narrative against her. Over time, people saw him for what he was, a manipulator. So how do you handle provocateurs? First, spot the trap. If someone's fishing for a reaction, that's your cue to step back. Second, control your emotions. They can't shape your image if you stay calm. Finally, let your actions speak. By refusing to stoop to their level, their attempts to ruin you fail. Your reputation isn't built in moments of anger, but through steady discipline. When someone tries to provoke you, remember, your silence is stronger than their words, and your self-control outweighs their schemes. Stay calm, stay focused, and don't let them write your story. Fourth, they pretend to be your friend to gather intel. Let's talk about one of the most deceptive tactics of those who don't just dislike you, they're plotting against you. They act like allies, not because they care, but to get close to your thoughts, plans, and vulnerabilities. At first, they seem genuinely interested in your life, asking about your goals, struggles, and what matters most to you. They listen just enough to earn your trust. But the truth is, they're not collecting memories. They're gathering ammunition to use against you. Their aim isn't to support you, but to weaponize your words. They might twist your statements, exploit your weaknesses at the worst moment, or bide their time to strike. This is where Stoic wisdom kicks in. Epictetus said, "Don't bare your soul to everyone. Not all who listen have good intentions." What does that mean? Not every smile is friendly. Not every listener cares. And not every question deserves an answer. Let me tell you about a woman I know, call her Rachel, who had a colleague who seemed like her biggest supporter. He'd ask about her career plans, workplace challenges, even her personal life. She thought he was just friendly. But then she overheard him twisting her words to the boss, making her look bad. He wasn't a friend, he was a spy. So, how do you deal with people like this? First, be cautious with your trust. Not everyone who listens is on your side. Second, test their intentions by sharing minor, unimportant details and watching their reaction. If they gossip or distort, you've got your answer. Finally, keep your true thoughts close. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Those who truly support you won't need to pry into your secrets. If someone's overly curious about your life but never shares their own struggles, that's a red flag. Guard your words, your plans, and above all, guard yourself. If this video's hitting home, give it a like. It helps the algorithm share this wisdom with more men. Don't forget to subscribe for more valuable insights. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll make sure to respond. Fifth, they try to isolate you from your supporters. Let's talk about one of the most dangerous tactics of those who don't just dislike you. They want to destroy you. They work to cut you off from those who lift you up, support you, or remind you of your worth. It starts subtly. They drop hints about you to others. Small comments that plant doubt. I don't know. He's been acting off lately. Or they twist situations to make you seem unreliable or disloyal. They create fake drama, whisper half-truths behind your back. And it works. You notice people pulling away, treating you differently, eyeing you with suspicion. Their goal isn't just to tarnish your reputation, it's to leave you alone, with no one in your corner. When you're isolated, you're easier to manipulate, easier to break. They know isolation makes you vulnerable, and that's exactly what they want. This is where Stoic wisdom steps in. Seneca said, "Surround yourself only with those who make you a better man." That means your strength lies in the company you keep. The right people will see through the manipulation and stand by you. The wrong ones will believe the lies and walk away. Either way, you'll learn who's truly on your side. Let me share a story about a woman named Emily, thriving in her career with a solid circle of colleagues and friends. But then, a toxic co-worker started spreading rumors about her. Small, offhand comments like, "Emily's been acting strange lately," or "I heard she's been talking behind your back." Slowly, people began to doubt her, distancing themselves. Emily felt the shift, the coldness, the hesitation in conversations, and worst of all, she didn't know why. Instead of crumbling, Emily stayed true to herself. She didn't chase explanations or beg for acceptance. She focused on those who truly knew her. And in time, the truth came out. The manipulator's lies fell apart. And those who valued Emily returned. True relationships can't be broken by mere whispers. So how do you handle isolation attempts? First, stay sharp and recognize when someone's trying to drive a wedge between you and others. Let's confront one of the most sinister tactics of those who don't just resent you, they want to see you fail completely. They plant seeds of doubt in your mind, making you question your own abilities and worth. It starts subtly, maybe disguised as advice or constructive criticism, but over time, you notice a pattern every step forward you take. They pull you back, too. Their goal isn't your growth. It's to erode your confidence, to make you second-guess every move. They want you hesitant, unsure, always doubting your choice. When you lose faith in yourself, they gain control, and that's their victory. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. Marcus Aurelius said, "If something external troubles you, it's not the thing itself, but your judgment of it." This means their words and actions only hurt you if you let them. Your abilities aren't defined by their doubts, only by how you respond. Let me tell you about a man I know. Call him Jake, who started his own business. He was driven, ready to take risks. But a so-called friend kept planting doubts. "Are you sure you're ready for this, or most businesses fail?" You know. At first, Jake brushed it off. But those words started to sink in. He began questioning if he was good enough, if he'd fail. That doubt wasn't natural, it was planted. And that's what his friend wanted. But Jake turned it around. Instead of letting doubt consume him, he remembered that confidence isn't something others can take unless you hand it over. He stopped listening to the negativity, trusted his path, and pushed forward despite the skepticism. His business thrived. And that friend, he faded into silence. So how do you handle those who try to undermine your confidence? First, see their words for what they are, not help, but sabotage. Second, trust in your own strength. Your path and abilities aren't dictated by their opinions. Finally, tune out their noise. Don't seek validation from those who don't want your success. Your confidence is your greatest shield. When someone tries to break it, it's because they fear the power you hold. Stand firm. Trust your course. And don't let their doubts become yours. If you've made it this far, drop a comment saying, "Thank God," and hit like if this wisdom resonates. Your support fuels more content like this. Sixth, they'll stop at nothing to see you fall. Let's talk about the most extreme form of enmity, when someone doesn't just want you to struggle, they want you obliterated. This isn't simple jealousy or a personal grudge. Their endgame is your total defeat. It might start small, petty competition, subtle sabotage, or slowing your progress. But soon you see it's deeper. Every move they make is calculated. They revel in your setbacks, twist the truth, and try to drain you emotionally. If they can't control you, they'll attack your reputation. If they can't discredit you, they'll chip away at your spirit, hoping you'll give up. Your resilience is their threat, their problem. And the only way they win is if you surrender. This is where Stoic strength prevails. Seneca said, "True power is enduring hardship without losing your virtue." What does that mean? It means real strength isn't in fighting back, it's in standing firm when someone's determined to break you. Your greatest weapon is your refusal to quit. They can spread rumors, isolate you, push you to your limits. But if you don't break, they lose. Let me share a story about a man I know, call him Daniel, whose success was envied by a former colleague. This person did everything: spread lies, sabotaged opportunities, turned others against Daniel. There were moments Daniel wanted to give up, but he remembered what mattered. His strength wasn't in retaliation, but in endurance. He stayed true to himself, focused on his goals, and refused to let those actions define him. In the end, the enemy destroyed their own credibility. So how do you handle such people? First, don't play their game. They thrive on your emotional reactions. Second, stay focused on your path. The more energy you give them, the stronger they get. Finally, never give up. Your resilience is your statement. They only win if you fall. Don't give them that satisfaction. Stand tall and watch them unravel. If this content speaks to you, hit like and subscribe for more hard-earned lessons.